Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hitting you all with the patented boogie intro. Welcome to episode 97 of Weekly Gaming News Show, the gaming podcast. And I didn't mute our feed over on the other end. So lots of mistakes happening today, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to get everything rectified for you guys. It's been a while since we've been live during our normally scheduled time frame.
Yeah, past couple of weeks.
Yeah, past couple of weeks. We've been going live on Monday. But for those of you that are new, we go live every Sunday, 7 Eastern time, here on Twitch, Mixer, YouTube, and on Facebook. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the show. Now, anytime that there's an update to a story, we like to cover it here on the show. So Boogie has an update from our previous episode. So let's go ahead and jump into that first. What we got?
Okay, so Billy Mitchell, the newly dethroned King of Kong, did release a...
For good reason.
Yeah, for good reason, for sure. He did release a statement, a video. It's about a minute video. I'm going to play it. We normally don't do this, but I'm going to play the video with sound so you can hear what he said. I call bullshit, but here's the video anyway.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Billy Mitchell. We're here at the Midwest Gaming Classic. I'm here with Old School Gamer magazine. I've been asked to address things that are recently in the media. The fact of the matter is, now there is a true professional due diligence being done to investigate things that happened as far as 35 years ago in a professional manner, not in a shock jock mentality designed to create hits. We will show that everything that has been done, everything was done professionally, according to the rules, according to the scoreboard, the integrity that was set up, not 2014 forward by the current regime who wants to reach back 35 years. Everything will be transparent. Everything will be available. I wish I had it in my hands right now. I wish I could hand it to you. But it's taken a considerable amount of time. Witnesses, documents, everything will be made available to you. Nothing will be withheld. You absolutely have my commitment to that. We've been at this since 1982, and it's not going to stop now.
Essentially what he's saying is he has evidence and proof
that will basically clear his name, right. But he can't disclose it at the moment, is essentially what he's getting at. So just to bring everything into full circle, last week we reported that he was essentially dethroned as the King of Kong. It turned out that he was using emulation as his, primary way of playing, as well as splicing of video feed, because I think his record was recorded on like a handy cam or something like that. So it was found out through investigation that he was splicing his footage, and not only that, he was using an emulator, as indicated by how the game loaded from left to right or from right to left. It's different when you're using the official hardware. Right. So he was officially dethroned as the King of Kong. He was banned from the
Twin Galaxies
leaderboards,
and kicked out of the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yes.
Guinness Record Book.
Yes, he was kicked out of the Guinness Record books and banned from from them as well. And so now the update is that there is proof to clear his name, and it will be disclosed at a later date. So, we're going to keep our ears and to the streets and hear what he has to say. But I mean, there's no redeeming this guy. I mean, this has been ongoing for years, and he says this in the video itself, is that this has been something that's been going on for years. Right. People have been trying to prove that he's been cheating. We finally did. And I don't think this is going anywhere.
No.
I don't think he has anything that's going to be substantial. But, we'll keep our ear to the streets. This is a quick update on a story that we covered. So when we get more information, we'll definitely give it to you. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what he actually has, though, because I doubt that it can, clear his name. I mean, it's clear that he used emulation.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to see the train wreck continue on down the track.
Yeah.
But I truly don't believe that's not, and I don't think there's anything he's going to do to get them to reverse the decisions that have been made.
Yeah.
Because even if he has quote unquote proof, there's still a shadow of there's still going to be a shadow of doubt. And if there's any doubt that the record is real, they're not going to allow it.
Right. So, I guess we'll let him say what he has to say, but I don't know. It's weird, man. And with the advancement in technology since the record was claimed, this guy's out of control. But let's go ahead and move on. That was our update section. If you ever need, if we are ever caught slipping or we misquote or whatever, we can do that, an update during that segment. Just reach out to us via our social media. All the information is down in the lower left corner, right underneath Boogie. You can see us on social media. Hit us up, let us know what you think, and send us any updates or any corrections that we need to make, and we'll definitely make those. So let's go ahead and get into the weekly icebreaker. This is a segment of the show where we ask a question between the two of us and get a sense of where we are on certain gaming related topics. Sometimes we go off the cuff, but today we're going to keep things gaming related. And in celebration of the new Rampage movie, which nobody wanted.
It's actually, if you forget that it's about Rampage, the game, is actually not a bad movie. It's
right,
entertaining.
that's the thing. Yeah, that's the weird thing about it. But we want to ask the question: what is your favorite gaming related movie? And I think there's a couple that I had my eyes on. First and foremost, I'd have to say that Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a really good movie. It's not necessarily based on a video game, but it's like, video game related, it's video game-esque. Like there's a lot of like references to video games.
That's a comic book series, right?
Yeah, that was a graphic novel, and they actually did make a game.
Around the time the movie came out. It's really freaking good, and it's one of those Xbox Live titles that you can't get anymore if you don't already have it. So for those of you that know what I'm talking about, shouts out to you. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim is a good one. And I'd have to, besides that, I really can't think of any that I necessarily like. I mean, I do like the old school Mortal Kombat movies, but that's just for the cringe, That's just for the cringe. I can't look, because I'm looking at a list of movies right here. I can't look at any of these and say like, oh, I like that movie. What else was good? Wreck-It Ralph was pretty good, but that was like another movie based around video games, not necessarily a video game based movie. What about you? I'm going to jump in. Well, I'm close. I'm similar to you. Scott Pilgrim is awesome. I watch that every time I catch it on. It just draws me to the TV when I see it on. But like a good video game movie that's based directly off an IP, I don't think there were any that were good. There were a few that were entertaining. The Resident Evil series was entertaining.
For a while.
For like the first 2 or 3.
Yeah, they died off quickly.
But I will say this, one that just came out this year. This year's Tomb Raider, I really enjoyed. I thought it was closer because it's based on the story in the reboot. Okay. They use story and lines directly from the reboot, so I really enjoyed that. I thought that was probably one of the better video game IP movies in ages. But yeah, I don't. If I had to pick one old school one, I would say probably the second Resident Evil movie. Would probably be my favorite video game movie. And it wasn't too true to the original content, but it was really entertaining. I enjoyed it.
Right, yeah. I enjoyed the first couple of movies. Even though they kind of like changed the lore, added new characters and whatnot. Right. But it was an entertaining series up to a certain point. You can also probably say the same thing about with the Tomb Raider movies. They weren't terrible. The Angelina Jolie movies, they weren't terrible, but they're not in my like top 100 favorite movies of like ever.
I think those probably, that Tomb Raider series and the Resident Evil series, like the first 3 or 4 movies, probably best video game movies out there.
Yeah.
Because most of the other stuff, like Super Mario Brothers, and we've talked about that.
We talked about that. We talked about a lot of video game. We talked about Doom.
Yeah, that was horrible.
The original Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I actually enjoy that movie for the cringe. That's one of the movies that I will just cringe through just because of the nostalgia and all that. So I enjoy that one for what it is. But as far as like, quality movie experience, I'd have to go with video games that are more based around movies that are more based around video games, like Wreck-It Ralph.
What's the other one you said?
And Scott Pilgrim, yeah.
Scott Pilgrim. And then Ready Player One. That was actually really
I
good.
haven't seen that yet. I feel so bad. I want to see that so bad.
It's good.
I want to see it.
The lore, the Easter eggs, and they stay true to a lot of the video game lore and Easter eggs. Although the movie itself, I thought was a little bit sloppy. It still was super entertaining. It was cool to see all of the pop culture references. Yeah. It was awesome.
I'm going to have to check that out. But that was our weekly icebreaker. If you would like to ask us a question to be answered during this segment, let us know. Hit us up on our social media. You can use the hashtag AskAWGNS and ask us any gaming-related question. We can use it in the weekly icebreaker or for our live Q&A section, which will be going down later on in the stream if we get enough questions asked of us. So make sure you're asking us questions. If you're live in the chat, use the hashtag AskAWGNS, and we'll pick up your questions and we'll answer them during that part of the show. But with that said, we can go ahead and move into our next segment, which is going to be the quick hits. And these are lightning round style stories. Don't necessarily deserve a deep dive, but there are stories that we do want to talk about. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first story that we have is actually pretty interesting because it appears that Konami is going to get off of their ass and make a new Castlevania game. And this is actually going to be the first one since Lords of Shadow 2, which came out on the previous generation of console. So it's pretty interesting that it's coming out. But what's also interesting is that this is going to be a mobile game. Yes, Konami is... They're not going full speed ahead with the Castlevania franchise, but I feel like this is a move in the right direction, and it's a part of their path, man. It's what they've been doing since they've scaled down. They're into pachinko machines and they're into mobile games. That's like all that's all they're doing. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some Metal Gear Solid mobile games coming down the line. But
I hate this story just because. Castlevania is such a classic IP, and just to just to basically banish it to mobile is super disappointing. I mean, if you look at all of the games, a lot of the games that have gotten remakes or reborn or re-released on consoles and PC, they've done a good job, and people still like those games. They still go out and buy those games. And I mean, even the Sonic games, Sonic Mania, and even Sonic Forces, for how disappointing it was, people were excited about that. And Castlevania would have that same type of excitement and people going out to try to get these games. And for them to say it's just going to be mobile only, I unless they come back a couple months later and say, okay, we did the mobile, now we're going to do a real release. I just feel like this is an insult to Castlevania as a whole. And furthermore, they've only announced this for Japan. There's no Western release noted or dated. So Konami, I don't know what you're doing. Just sell the IPs to somebody that's going to do something with it.
I mean, I would be a happy camper if they sold off Castlevania. I've actually become somewhat of a super fan of Castlevania after going back and playing some of the original games. Me and Mount Lover, we played through the first and we tried to beat the third one. It didn't go down too well, but then I played the Lords of Shadow series, and I just got really like into the lore and the backstory of the series, and then it just died. It just like the series just died off. So while I do agree with you that this is somewhat of an insult because Castlevania has been a AAA series for generations. It was one of the main titles on the original NES and Super Nintendo. You know, plenty of portable games that, you know, stand the test of time as well. And then some games that are considered, you know, some of the best ever in, you know, Symphony of the Night. So it makes me, it does, I do get upset when I see that, you know, Castlevania just doesn't get the love and respect that it deserves. But I'm glad it's not a pachinko machine.
It is a pachinko machine.
Well, I'm glad that this announcement isn't the announcement of another pachinko machine. This is actually something that we can play, something we can get our hands on if it comes out in the West.
Well,
but yeah, go ahead.
The thing with the mobile, and it's fairly easy to change your region and download the game. So that's not too. You'll be able to get it. I do like that it's 4-player co-op. Multiplayer is also going to be 4 versus 4 competitive mode. I like where they're going with it. It's just not on the proper platform.
Right. I agree with you there. Hopefully, if it makes enough money, it can get ported over. I don't know. But it just kind of feels weird to support Konami in this current gaming landscape. I mean, they've done so many wrongs in the last couple of years that, you know, this does not seem to this is not going to make up for what they've done in the past.
Right.
But yeah, no release date given as of right now. The subtitle is Grimoire of Souls. Has some pretty cool features. I would like to see more of it. I don't know. I love Castlevania, man. I love the lore, I love the music, I love the characters. So I don't know. If I can get my hands on it, I probably will. But I'm not going to go too far out of my way.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go ahead and move on. We have another quick hit for you. So let's go ahead and get into it.
This is a Street Fighter story.
Street Fighter.
Yeah, Street Fighter 5. What's that? I'm going to let you say her name. Is it Falke?
Falk?
Falk.
I think that's how you pronounce it. I have no idea. But the newest character in the Season 3 of character releases, Falk, has made her way and will be released on April 24th. So just a couple of days away. We get a brand new character in Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. I'm going to say this right now. She does not appeal to me at all.
Oh, wow.
I don't like her. I don't like her costume. She seems to be like another one of those characters, similar, like in as far as her overall look. The same as that other dude. I can't remember his name. The boxer dude.
Which one? Not Balrog.
No, not Balrog.
The new one.
The newer one.
You should know this more than
I don't know his fucking name, dude. I don't care. She, you know, she uses a staff. It looks like you know, she'll have a lot of range as well as projectiles with it.
I know she's.
I don't know.
Psycho energy, like
she does. Yeah, she does use the psycho energy just like the other character too.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm just not really feeling it. Or her animations look really stiff. Which is weird because a lot of the newer characters have been really fluid in their movement, but she seems really stiff and just kind of like out of place. I don't know. Doesn't really sit well with me. I haven't touched Street Fighter in a long time, so I can't really say that this would get me back into it. I'm waiting on Cody and Sagat. Those are two characters that I really want to see. But as far as what it looks like right now, I can't say that I'm a huge super fan of Falk. She doesn't appeal to me at all.
Got it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The character I was talking about is Ed. Thank you. Yeah, Ed. Yeah, he's another character. Uses psycho energy. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah, my Mark, you know, my brother got the PlayStation 4. He got Street Fighter 5. I played it for like 30 minutes, and I was like, I put it down. I don't know. And you know what? To be fair, it was more the PlayStation and the PlayStation controller versus the game itself. I just don't like the controller. I hate the PlayStation 4 controller.
Yeah. I actually use a fight pad on Street Fighter.
Yeah, Mark said Mark texted me, he's like, yeah, where can I get a fight pad? Because this PlayStation controller is crap. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have to get a fight pad. Yeah, just not the most exciting character. So it won't be, you know, getting me to rush back to Street Fighter 5.
So
but I mean,
my question is this.
What's up?
This probably is better posed to Yama. But when are they going to stop making new characters? Is that just their plan to make? How many characters do you really need? What's the roster
I
up
don't
to?
know.
It's over 30 now. Am I right?
Yeah, they've reached a pretty high milestone, but I don't think they've reached the same amount of characters as we had at the end of Street Fighter 4. So I don't know. Maybe there's going to be another season. I mean, the game has been out for a while now.
Yeah, but this is the third, right? It came out in 16, like this holiday 16, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they would actually go as far as making a season 4. But I don't know, man. The more characters, the better. I mean, there's still a large majority of characters that have been left out that were in previous games. But I don't know. I think overall, Street Fighter 5 has, it's waxed and waned. It's had its ups and downs. After this season, they may start looking at Street Fighter 6. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's reached 30, and that's not including Falk.
Right.
So and it also doesn't have
Sagat, Cody, and G, whoever the hell that guy
doesn't
is.
have those. So Sagat. So now we're looking at like 34 characters before the end of season 3.
Yeah. So I think that after this season, they'll probably start looking at Street Fighter 5 or another fighting game, all in itself.
Maybe.
Yeah, because the player base has fallen off. They may have regained some people with the arcade edition. I know they have. A lot of people are really excited about, characters like Sakura and Blanca, Sagat, Cody. So we've seen some resurgence, but the game launched terribly, and it's just been playing catch up with itself for years now.
For its entire its entire
freaking existence.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I know another game like that.
What's that?
Destiny, same thing.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Released a mess, and they've been Destiny. I'm not Destiny. The Division was another one.
Yeah.
For Honor is another one.
Yeah. We're getting some feedback from our correspondents in the live chat. Mount Lover predicts that this might be the last season, and that they may have a dry spell for Capcom fighting games. You know what? That would probably be refreshing for Capcom to focus on other IPs, but with the resurgence of fighting games, and because we have fighting games coming down the line, it would be very unfortunate if Capcom didn't have some kind of stake in the next couple of years of fighting games.
I can't imagine them trying to sit back and taking a break just because of, like you said, all of the fight games, and a lot of them have come out and they're displacing Capcom titles.
Yeah,
like Dragon Ball Fighter.
Got Marvel the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Then you look at like the Injustice 2s and the what is the game? It's just Soul Calibur's coming.
Soul Calibur's coming. I mean, you have another game from Arc System Works, that Cross Battle that's coming.
Yeah. So I mean, when you and the Tekken 7, a lot of these games are well received. So if Capcom sits out for an extended period of time, they're just going to lose market share.
Yeah. I don't think they want to lose that.
The good thing is they always have Street Fighter, and Street Fighter, for what it's worth, is the king of the heap right now. But when you have Super Smash Brothers Switch coming out, I mean, you have a lot coming out that's going to be they're going to have to fight against in the FGC, and they can't afford to take an extended break.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Dude, it's crazy. Because I remember Capcom being the end-all be-all as far as fighting games were concerned, and now we've had disappointment after disappointment with Marvel. Some could say Street Fighter 5 has been a disappointment. Street Fighter Cross Tekken, like ever since Street Fighter 4, it's just been downhill for those guys.
Yep.
So it would really suck to not have a Capcom fighting game in circulation. Especially with, everything is just on the rise. You have esports on the rise. We're going to talk about a story where fighting games could be featured in esports in schools. So we'll get on that in a moment. But it would be really unfortunate if Capcom just gave up its stake in the fighting game community for an extended period of time. It would be really unfortunate. But that's that's that on Street Fighter. We have one more quick hit for you, so let's go ahead and jump into that. And this is more your lane, so I'll let you take this one, Boogie.
All right, so there's a skill that's been released for Amazon's Echo. It's, and I'm gonna play this video real quick, but I'm gonna talk over it.
Okay.
But basically, it's for Call of Duty, and the skill is actually going to help you get better at the game. Apparently, the way it works is it's going to analyze your play, using factors, using accuracy, movement, engagement, and distance and relationship distance, your KD ratio, and it'll analyze those things and give you tips on what you can do to get better at the game. It also shows you when your friends on. You can ask who's online, and you can also find out or keep up to date with a real time leaderboard. It's currently in beta, but you can get it now for any of your Amazon Echo enabled products. So if it's not, it doesn't necessarily have to be an Amazon Echo. It can be any other device that has that uses the Amazon Echo API. Or and it's just interesting. I like where they're going with it. Who cares about Call of Duty? But I do like where they're going with the game. I mean, with the skill, and it's a nice add-on or a nice.
It's a nice feature.
It's a nice feature to have, yeah, to get you better at what you're doing or what you're playing.
Yeah, and we talked about that in a previous long form about the collection of data and using that to get better. I never thought that it would reach this point. We were thinking more of like learning AI or whatever. Right. But this is actually pretty interesting. Yeah, and it can give you live updates for your friends list. I think it's actually pretty cool.
And it is using machine learning to track what you're doing and how people play in the game in general, and to apply what you're doing to what the best players or how the game is being played, the meta, and give you tips. I think that's pretty awesome. I would like to see that in many other games. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, technology is moving forward, and it looks like it's taking gaming with it.
It's taking gaming with it, yeah. We're going to talk about a lot of stories that revolve around that sentiment right there. A lot of things are growing, and they're taking gaming with them. So yeah, that's going to end it for our quick hits. If you have any stories that you would like us to cover or get our opinions on, you can send it to us. Our social medias are right underneath Boogie. You can see them right there in the corner. Hit us up. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. You can leave comments in the comment section of wherever it is that you are consuming this podcast, and let us know what you think. And submit us stories, because if you submit them to us, you got to be quick though, because Boogie is up on it when it comes to the gaming news. So let us know what you would like our opinions on, and we'll definitely give those. But yeah, that's going to do it for that segment. We're going to move on here in just a moment. But first, we have to give a shout out to our sponsor, the new Challenger Discord. So let's not do what I just did there, and let's bring up the new Challenger Discord. Okay, so if you would like to get good at your favorite fighting game, because we were just talking about Street Fighter V, if you want to learn how to play as any of the characters that are going to be coming out, you want to make sure that you join the new Challenger Discord. Go to newchallenger.gg, join the Discord channel, and be freaking better at your favorite fighting games, because they have lots of tools that you can use. They have one-on-one coaching. They have group coaching. They have fight nights. They have weekly and bi-weekly tournaments that you can enter in for prizes, I might add. And yeah, it's just a vast community with a lot of gaming enthusiasts, fighting game enthusiasts that want nothing more than to build that foundation so that you can get good and then go on to compete. Last year we actually had some people, including our good friend Mount Lover, who competed in EVO under the new Challenger moniker. So, if you would like to do that, that's something that's available as well. So go ahead, join the Discord. Make sure you let them know that True Sonic sent you. Big shout out to our homeboy, Mr. Vinegar, who is the founder of the Discord channel, and as always, a big, super wet thank you to Mount Lover, who's a friend of the podcast as well as our stream tech. He makes sure that everything is up and running as it should be, even when I don't know it. So big shout out to those guys. Thank you guys for sponsoring and keeping us up and running. We love you. And let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of the show, which is going to be our top 5 news stories for this week. And of course, we have to start off with my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite topic to talk about. And for this week, we actually have a little bit more to go on. But first, let's go ahead and get the main, the bulk of this out of the way. So the Games for Gold for May have been announced. And
right.
Not by Microsoft. It was actually leaked. So, Boogie, do you want to talk about that before we go into the games?
I'm super salty about it. It was leaked by, I think it was Polygon. I think that leaked it. It might have been somebody else leaked it and Polygon picked it up. Mm-hmm. But it was leaked Saturday morning, and Microsoft put out their video later that Saturday afternoon. And it annoyed me because I do the 10 and 10. I usually record Friday nights. I usually close my weekly news cycle for the 10 and 10 Friday at about 10 at night. And I usually record it then and post it at noon on Saturday. So it missed my 10 and 10, but we'll talk about it today. But I just don't think Microsoft was really ready to release it because they didn't even release I think it might be up now, but at the time when they first released the video, they hadn't released their blog post.
No, they didn't even have a blog post, They just released the video to YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, but the actual games that are going to be coming out this month are quite good in my opinion. First up, we have what is this game? It's like a baseball game. What's it called though?
Oh,
Mega Baseball.
Let me tell you something. Super Mega Baseball 2 is going to be a Games for Gold release. Mm-hmm. The thing about that, the game doesn't release until May 1st.
Oh, so it's going to be another one of those.
It's a new release. And it's going to be free for Xbox Live members. And I have this. The first game, Super Mega Baseball 1, was released on a Games with Gold sometime last year, maybe the year before. But it's actually a fun game. If you're not into all the super simulation, real pitching and stuff that you get out of like MLB The Show, it's a fun baseball game.
And that's exactly the kind of sports game I'm into. Just like over-the-top arcade action. I love it.
Right, it's a callback to the old school baseball games where, like the Nintendo, where it's like top down or 3/4 down, the pitcher from the top, and you see you can go. I think you can change the view to that classic view. Or you can go behind the pitcher or behind the batter, but it's fun. It's actually a fun baseball game.
It looks fun, and I'm going to say it live here on the podcast. I challenge you to a baseball game because you are the baseball. You're the baseball guy. You get MLB The Show every single year. I will never play that game, but I will play you in some baseball, some Super Mega Baseball. I would like to play you in that game. So it's going down.
It's going down.
Yeah,
keep your eyes open. It's gonna be live.
Yeah, it's gonna be live. We will have that live, so that's gonna be really fun. I can't wait to play that. And so that's the first Xbox Xbox One game. The second Xbox One game that we have is going to be Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. And this kind of just like completes the overall experience because previously we had what was it? The prologue was available.
Yep.
What's that called?
I want to say this came out already. I thought it did. It's not.
It's just the prologue was available as a Games for Gold.
Okay.
What's the prologue called? I forget.
I don't know.
I forget.
I should know this though. I really should know it, but I can't think of it right now.
Yeah. So the prologue was a previous Games for Gold, and now we have the full Phantom Pain experience available for free on Xbox. So I haven't downloaded, but I do have the prologue in my library, and so I'm going to add this game to my library as well.
And you can play it through and through.
Yeah, just play the entire thing one of these days. Maybe when I'm 40. I don't know, because I don't really see myself playing it, especially because of how seemingly different it is from every. The reviews are all over the place. You know,
they went to an open world or a semi-open world model, which is odd. It's like they wanted to go there, but they didn't want to take it all the way there.
Right. So yeah, a lot of people love it, just because Metal Gear, and then a lot of OG Metal Gear Solid players like hate it just because of like how it's structured. But yeah, go ahead.
And I'm sorry, but Metal Gear Solid 5, it was a free game, but it was a free game on PlayStation Plus a few months ago.
Is that the case?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I don't know. I know I have both of them on Xbox, and I didn't pay for it, so I don't know. But yeah, so you can go ahead and get that. That's going to be coming up in May. And then on the Xbox 360 side, we have the Sega Vintage Collection, Streets of Rage Collection.
Yeah, so that's the game I thought you were like we're going to play.
Oh no, you already know I own that. I've been on that. Of course. I own that game. I own Streets of Rage legitimately like 5 times over. Okay? So I already have this. So I'll be able to play with anybody. It has online functionality as well. Yep. So we'll be able to get us some good old fashioned beat 'em up action. I wish that it was play anywhere. Yeah. That way we can get it on PC, because me and Mount Level, we have yet to beat Streets of Rage 3 on the US hard difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty of that game, like overall. Yeah. And what's really cool is that you can actually play the Japanese versions of these games, which have like different features and like, different aesthetics in some cases, different enemies, different like layouts or whatever. So it's actually really cool. It's like the full Streets of Rage experience for free. And it's the entire trilogy. In Japan, it's actually called Bare Knuckle. The Bare Knuckle series. So you can get that. And then also on the Xbox 360, we have Vanquish, which is a game that I've heard so much about.
It's a Platinum Games developed game.
Yeah, Platinum Studios game.
Platinum Studios, yeah. And it's actually really good.
I've heard so much about it. I think might be one of the only Platinum Studios games I've not played.
Yeah, you should play it. It's a third-person cover shooter, but he wears this suit that has like these jetpacks. He does all these crazy slides and jumps, and I think you can slow down time, and it's fun.
Yeah, I've heard so much about it.
It's a really good game. Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna have to pick that up. We talked about it not too long ago because they came out with the PC release.
Yeah,
a few months back. Yep. So I'm definitely gonna have to pick that up because I've heard way too much about that game to not play it. And with it being free, there's no excuse now.
Right. If you haven't played it, definitely play it. And the thing is, when you start playing it, you'll notice that a lot of things that they did, games currently are doing. They picked up a lot of stuff out of Vanquish and stuck it in their games. But
trendsetters.
Vanquish is a very good game. It was very underrated. If you haven't, it's definitely. I think this month, May, for Xbox Live Games with Gold is outstanding.
Yeah,
outstanding.
Must downloads all across the board.
Yeah. And we're in one of those things where Xbox seems to go up and down. They go up, they get a high point, they start releasing all these games, and then they'll go down a little bit and start releasing, junk. Or not necessarily junk, but secondary stuff or stuff. Maybe some of the months they release good games. It's just that they were games we already had.
Yeah.
But right now, the 4 titles coming in May are every last one of them a must-have. I think, in my opinion.
Especially that Streets of Rage. Make sure you pick that up.
Oh, yeah. Definitely getting that.
Hit me up. Xbox Live, True Sonic 07. I will play with anybody. I've beaten that game so many times. I can't. It's so good. It's close to the heart.
We still got to do the Marvel Alliance. I haven't
forgotten. We're going to do that. We're going to do it.
We got a third person now because Mark can play it because he's game sharing with me.
Okay.
It's up to 4 people, right?
It's up to 4 players. So Yanni has it. We can get that. We got our 4. All right, we going in. But yeah, so awesome list of games for this month. It's just unfortunate that it was announced, before Microsoft wanted to put that out there.
Right.
But I don't know.
We've had our talk about leaks and how we at least how I feel. I hate them. But yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it happens. But with this, I doubt that it's going to take away from anything. They was probably going to release it next week anyway.
Yeah, it was going to probably come usually like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah,
usually probably when they show up. So
yeah. So let's go ahead and move into the next story. And speaking of Sega classics, the Nintendo Switch is actually going to be getting some Sega classics on the Nintendo eShop, featuring games like Phantasy Star, Alex Kidd, and these are some classics. I mean, Alex Kidd, Alex the Kid is like kind of before my time. I think when that came out, I was like 2, so I wasn't even. That. Yeah, I was not playing that back in the. And funny thing, Alex Kidd is actually the original Sega mascot before Sonic the Hedgehog came
Sonic
in.
was, yep.
Yeah, and Phantasy Star is the Sega Genesis enter into the JRPG genre, yep. Which has a huge following. You know, you might say just as huge as Final Fantasy. You know, there's some diehard Phantasy Star players out there. So the original Phantasy Star will be the Phantasy Star series will be on the Nintendo Switch. You can't have Sega Classics without Sonic the Hedgehog, so that's going to be there as well. And this is pretty cool.
Right. So yeah, they list the first 5 of Phantasy Star, Sonic the Hedgehog, Alex Kidd in Miracle World, Game Ground, and Thunder Force 4. I think that's what that is.
I can't remember what Thunder Force is. I think that's like a shoot 'em up.
But yeah, maybe I don't remember that. I remember all the other ones though.
Thunder Force is a shmup. Yeah.
All of Phantasy Star, Sonic, and Alex Kidd. I've put a lot of time in those games. I'm excited about Alex Kidd and Phantasy Star. And apparently there's going to be up to 15 of them, so there's at least 10 more titles coming.
Okay.
They're all going to be on sale individually. We don't know what the price is, but knowing Nintendo, I would expect $20.
Full price.
Yeah, $49.99.
Full price.
We hate you, consumers. $60.
$60. There was a meme. Oh my god, it was so funny. I was like, Nintendo is like re-releasing all these old games, but they're selling them at full price. It's so stupid. But Sega Classics coming to the Nintendo Switch. I mean, this isn't new. The Wii and Wii U also had Sega Classics on the Virtual Console, but I guess we need press releases for everything Switch related. So
yeah. Well, if you're keeping count, the Nintendo news is kind of dried up, and the Labo came out on Friday.
I haven't heard shit about it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say. It came out on Friday, and you don't hear anything. I haven't gotten it because I want digital. Right now, all you can get is the cart. I want to be able to buy it digitally and then buy the accessories separately.
Yeah.
I don't want carts because I don't like carts. I don't, especially the little ass tiny Nintendo cart to be lost somewhere.
Yeah.
So I have to buy another $60 game. Get the hell out of here, Nintendo.
So, Sega Classics coming to the Switch. I'm a Sega fanboy, so if I cared about my Nintendo Switch, this would be an important story. But I own the Phantasy Star. I own some of the Phantasy Star games. I own Alex Kidd in like previous collections of video games.
Yeah.
So this wouldn't be a buy for me because I already have the ability to play all of these. But it's good that we're seeing these classic games being brought to current gen consoles. Just for the younger kids to get into these games,
right? To take a look at what we used to play, right?
What we used to play back in the day.
Before you jump off this story, is there any specific Sega classic that you would like to see?
Oh well, of course you need Streets of Rage. You're gonna need Vector Man. Gunstar Heroes is a must play if you're a Sega fanboy. I would go as far to say Rocket Knight Adventures.
Really?
Rocket Knight Adventures is so good, and the first game was a Sega Genesis exclusive. The sequel went multi-platform, but Rocket Knight is a good one. These are all my favorite games from the Sega Genesis. I said Vector Man. What else? I can't really think of anything else. They got some old school Mickey Mouse games that were developed by Sega in-house. I can't think of any exclusives, but yeah, I think that's a good list.
There's only
Golden Axe. There we go. Golden Axe.
Golden Axe. Yeah, that'd be a good one. But there's only one game that I want. It's a Sega Master System game. I want it bad. It was actually on the Sega Master System card. It's called My Hero.
I've never heard of that.
My Hero is a side-scrolling beat 'em up. Basically, you got to run through town to beat up a bunch of dudes to save your girlfriend. I've played that game. Like, I got so good, I used to play with my toes, to be quite honest.
That's pretty funny.
Because I just that's something my older brother did because what game did he beat me in? Like he whipped my ass in the game with his toes.
That's crazy.
He's playing with his toes. I was playing with my hands. He whipped my ass.
That is wow.
But I forgot what game it was. I probably forgot it. That PTSD. You know,
yeah. It looks like a classic side-scrolling platform site style beat 'em up. Yeah, it looks pretty fun. I'm looking at it.
I love that game, and that's the only game I would really want. Another one, maybe Outrun or Afterburner.
Yeah. What's it called? Altered Beast. That's a classic right there.
They can keep Altered Beast.
You don't like Altered Beast?
That's another game.
Shinobi needs to be there.
Yeah, Shinobi, yeah,
Shinobi series
for sure. Yeah, but Shinobi, my hero, my number one.
That's funny.
Number two would probably be Afterburner. Number three would be Shinobi. Those three I would love to have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Mystic Defender. No, they can keep that, and then they can throw it into a furnace and then let it burn for eternity. Because Mystic Defender is probably one of the worst games I've ever played ever. That comes from Mount Lover, always with the colorful commentary. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the next story. We are talking about esports, and this is going to be a reoccurring topic for the rest of the show. We're going to be talking about esports. So let's go ahead and get into the next story because it looks like esports are coming to your local high school.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and elaborate on that. What's happening with this one?
The National Federation of State High Schools Association, which basically what they do is they write the rules for high school sports across the nation, and they give guidance. Their rule is not their word is not the rule of law, but they do give guidance and they sanction certain sporting events. Okay. And they've come out and said they are going to start sanctioning esports. In high schools. So your local high school will have a Overwatch team or a Fortnite team and actually let me
not a Fortnite team, because in addition to the adding esports to the list of sports for schools, they have specifically blacklisted any gun related video games.
Right. So what they said is that they're not going to sanction those games. Now, if a individual state wants to sanction them, that's fine, but they're not going to be involved with it. So any shooters, they specifically noted first-person shooters, and they listed the titles they listed were Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Fortnite were two of the games that were specifically excluded. So they don't want shooters. They said sports games. They said fighters.
MOBAs.
And MOBAs, yep. So you see a Street Fighter game, you'll see something League of Legends, you see Street Fighter teams, you see League of Legends, you'll see
Rocket League.
That was actually one of the games that they mentioned that they seem to be really enamored with Rocket League.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go with this. I think it's definitely progressive. My problem with it is it's public education. Right. Public schools don't have money. So, I mean, this is at first going to go into schools I'm lucky. We live in Montgomery County. Montgomery County public schools are pretty well funded. So you'll see it like that. And you're like in Woodbridge, right? Just outside of Woodbridge.
Yeah.
What county are you?
Prince William.
Prince William County is well funded. So you'll see them there. We'll see them in Fairfax County. But where the teachers were just striking in West Virginia and Kentucky and Alabama, they'll never have esports teams because they don't have the funds. They don't have the funds to give
for books. They don't have the funds to teach them the curriculum.
Yeah, exactly. So
this is actually going to lead into our long form. So I want to save the rest of the conversation for that. Right. But we're still going to be talking about esports. We're going to move on to our next story, and we're going to jump into the NBA 2K League because there's some news coming out of that as well. So we'll continue the conversation with video games in high schools. But let's go ahead and get over to NBA because it looks like they just picked up a contract or made a deal with Twitch because they are going to be live streaming the NBA 2K League going forward.
Right. So they signed an exclusive streaming deal with Twitch. NBA 2K League signed blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Signed an exclusive deal to stream all of their games on Twitch. So all 199 season games that's going to be played this year will be live streamed on Twitch. They're going to be free, but there's a caveat. Any VODs are going to be charged. So if there's a NBA 2KL VOD you want to see, you're going to have to pay for that.
Oh, gotta pay for the VODs. Ooh.
Yes, you have to pay for the VODs, but if you want to watch them live, you're good to go. The league launches on May 1st. And
Okay.
if you forgot what the NBA 2KL is, it's basically a collaboration between the NBA, that's right, that NBA, and 2K Sports. They have a 17-team league where each of the city teams are paired or owned and operated by their professional or their NBA counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
They had their draft a couple of weeks ago, so they got the teams all set, and they are ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So if you subscribe to the Twitch channel, you'll be able to access the VODs. They're going to be locked behind the subscription fee, so you can actually use your Twitch
Prime,
Twitch Prime subscription, and you can get it that way, or you can pay the $4.99 entry fee, because they have the 3 tiers of subscription. So yeah. But this is super interesting, and like it is just crazy how much money is being thrown into esports, man. I mean, they just recently had a freaking draft for the NBA 2K league. They had it like a draft. It was on ESPN. I have the footage showing on my end, but it's pretty crazy how far this is actually going.
Right. I mean, there's money to be had. People like to watch other people play games. Yeah. And people have always loved to watch competition, and this is just a marriage of the two. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, and it makes sense for them to go to Twitch because it's the most gaming the most gaming centric destination on the internet right now.
Everybody knows it. Yeah,
everybody knows what Twitch is, so it makes sense that they went with Twitch to host their NBA 2K league. I'm not sure where they were hosting it before.
They hadn't said.
Okay.
They hadn't said any. They hadn't mentioned. I know a couple of stories ago, I don't know if it was the last story, but a couple of stories ago when they were asked about where the shows would be available, and they said we're working with partners. Okay, was the story. So I'm assuming at that time they were
still in negotiations. Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. So yeah, going forward, Twitch will be the home of the NBA 2K League. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with some extra features. Similar to what they're doing with the Overwatch League, right? Where you could, pay an additional fee and get access, to, the individual players and see everything, and even get that first person view, while they're playing. I wouldn't be surprised if they went with that. What was it called? The All Access or something like that? All
Access, yep. Overwatch All Access.
They'll probably have an NBA 2K All Access as well. So yeah, it seems like Twitch is definitely banking off of esports. Yeah, because there are so many leagues that want the exclusive rights or whatever. It's crazy. It's just all this money is being thrown at esports.
Thrown around. Yep, exactly. We'll see when they start throwing this money. At first, I was worried like, oh, okay, there's a couple of people that's throwing a little money at it. Maybe they'll survive, maybe they won't. But the way it's going now, I think esports is going to be its own monster. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and with Twitch kind of like being the driving force, that's just more money for them, more money for Amazon, dude. Mm-hmm. Get me some more Amazon grocery stores out here so they can deliver it to my house. So I don't gotta go outside.
That's Whole Foods.
I know. I said get some more, get some more Whole Foods out here, man. So I could just order my groceries online, because I honestly don't think that there's any in the area right now.
For you, Whole Foods? No. Yeah, there's one that's down the street from me. I still don't shop there. Yeah. Wegmans for life, baby.
Yo, Wegmans is the best grocery store I've ever been to. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, lots of money being thrown at esports. The growth continues to skyrocket. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that here in a second. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our last story in the top 5. And that's going to be revolving around my new favorite game, Fortnite. No, I'm just kidding. It's not my favorite, but I was playing it earlier today. I'm not sure if any of you guys caught the live stream, but I did play for a little while. And man, that game is fun, dude. That game, I had so much fun. And it was crazy. I was playing on my Xbox One, and my brother sitting right next to me was playing it on the PC version. And then we had one of our homies, Maury Jin, was playing on mobile. So we had all 3 platforms playing together in the same room. It was pretty crazy.
I saw that, and I think that is what gaming should be right there. What you just said, that is what gaming should be.
Right.
Yeah. Play whatever you want to, whatever system you want to play on. You play on that system.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I figure if it's multi-platform, let everybody play together. Like, the exclusives should be what drive the, console sales, not not multi-platform games. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the story because Fortnite on mobile has made a lot of money, a surprising amount of money. It's only been out for 1 month.
A
little over a month, and it has made a little over $25 million.
Yeah, $25 million. And to put that in perspective, the first 2 weeks it was out, it was in limited access. It was only invite only. So basically in 2 weeks, it made about $25 million. And all of their money comes from cosmetic sales.
Yeah.
And they don't have loot boxes. You just buy the cosmetics. You buy this. You see what you want, and you buy it. You can buy money packs. Like you could buy a pack of whatever the in-game currency.
The in-game currency, yeah.
You could buy the packs, but it's not the loot box system. It is definitely I see what I want, I'm buying that type system, which is the system I'm okay with. I don't like any of the microtransactions, but Fortnite's a free game. So if this is how they're going to monetize and they're doing it fairly, I think that's fair. That's fine. That's fine with me if that's the way they're going to do it. But yeah, $25 million in essentially 2 weeks is crazy. And there's a company called Sensor Tower. They're an analytical company.
Okay.
So, and what they did is they released numbers from April 1st through the 15th. And during that 2 week span, Fortnite made $9.5 million. This is in iOS, and again, this is in iOS only. We didn't mention that. It's not across iOS and Android. It's just iOS.
Just the iOS version.
Just the iOS version. So they made $9.5 million in that 2 week period. The number one app was Netflix, which made $12.6 million. We know why they're making that money.
Because that's a subscription service, yeah. But I have the graphic here on the screen just to put it into perspective. Some of the other like high selling apps like Tinder. I can't believe Tinder is like, what is Tinder selling? That's what I want to know. Anyway,
don't they sell like I don't know.
I have no idea,
I have no clue.
Yeah, but you have other apps like Pandora, YouTube, Candy Crush, and Hulu, all being Fortnite outsold all of them between that time period.
Right, and Candy Crush is the next closest game, and they're like just barely over 1/2 of what Fortnite is doing. I mean, that's crazy. And
that's crazy. You know what's crazy is how much money Candy Crush is still making after all this damn time. But anyway,
yeah, that's a story for another day too.
Yeah, that's a story for another day. Yeah,
but
that's wild.
Fortnite is doing the thing right now, and
doing the damn thing.
And yeah, what's his face? PUBG is starting to sweat bullets, and anybody else that's trying to jump into it, it seems like they're copying Fortnite. We're looking at you, Cliffy B.
Yeah, Radical Heights.
Yeah.
Radical Heights.
It seems like they're
looking very Fortnite-ish.
Yeah, it seems like they're taking the Fortnite lead as opposed to the PUBG lead.
Exactly.
But yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to try it again. Maybe next time you guys have a play session, I'll jump in and join you.
Man, that shit was fun, dude. Like, and you know, like you were saying, like this is what gaming should be, man.
Right.
It was so seamless. Is the thing. The only thing that it's missing is the PlayStation and the Xbox integration. Like if they did that, Fortnite already has such a substantial lead. As far as PUBG, because I played this on the exact same console that I played PUBG on, and it's so smooth. It doesn't chug. Like the animations don't look like ugly, and because it's just a better experience.
They released a finished game. That's why PUBG is getting mauled by Fortnite, because Epic is a great game developer. Yeah. They make great games. They know how to develop. And when they released Fortnite, it was polished.
Well, and that's the thing. Polished. Fortnite was actually a game before the Battle Royale section came out. And for those of you that are watching, we did say that Fortnite is free. Fortnite Battle Royale is free.
Battle Royale. I'm sorry.
The original game, which is the PvE, actually costs money.
Yeah, but like $30, I think.
Dude, that is crazy, man. Yeah, but yeah, we could definitely get you in on a session, dude. I had a good time. I can't deny how much fun I was having playing with friends. Yeah,
and like you said, the multiplat or the crossplay. I mean, it's so cool. Like even when I watched your stream for a minute, and it shows each player, and it had Yanni, it had his little computer icon, it had you and
with the Xbox icon, and me and
Halo, right?
Unlisted Halo, something like that.
Yeah, Unlisted Halo. You had the Xbox icons, and Mori Jin had the little mobile icon.
It's crazy.
It's so cool. And for especially with Mori Jin getting up in mobile and still being able to keep up and compete. Yeah,
you're using that word a little lightly, but okay.
Well,
Mori Jin wasn't really competing as much as he was just getting destroyed with the rest of us. No, and you know what? He's running the game on an iPhone S6 or something like that, iOS 6S, whatever the hell they're called, and he says it runs pretty smooth, man. And that's like a couple generations in the past.
It's 2 generations old, yeah, because it's from 16.
Yeah. So he's running it on a pretty old phone, and it still runs like it still functions.
Right.
I couldn't.
15.
Yeah,
2015, because 16 was the 7, 17 was this current gen. Okay. Yeah, so it's 2015. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so he was able to get in, and it's seamless. There wasn't any serious lag or desyncing issues. Like everybody was just having a good time.
Yeah, I think that right there, the ability to do that, that's cool, and that's why it's so popular.
Exactly.
Right there. Yeah. And there was I think this was last week. There was people complaining, or teachers complaining about kids playing the game in school, banning Fortnite from class, because kids were sitting in the back of class playing Fortnite and not paying attention.
Yeah, but then we're going to talk about that here in a second.
But let's move on. We got a couple more stories. One of them very significant. Even.
Yes, and this is going to be it's just our This Week in Loot Boxes story,
That's
right?
Correct.
Okay, so we're jumping out of the top 5, and we are going into This Week in Loot Boxes. So let's go ahead and jump into that. What we got first up?
Okay, the first thing we have up is the company that hates us all, Nintendo, has released loot boxes into Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. If you're unfamiliar, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is the mobile version of Animal Crossing. It's got off to a very good start. It seemed to have slowed down quite a bit. And since it slowed down, Nintendo says, okay, we're not making as much money as we were before. Let's add loot boxes. So they added boxes. They're called fortune cookies. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah.
And and they added it in the worst way possible. They added it to where they added a secondary currency called some kind of tickets. Stamps. I'm sorry. They added a second currency called stamps.
Okay.
And you can use these stamps, like you usually use 10 of them or more to buy certain items, and they only come out of the fortune cookies, but the premium cookies.
Okay.
Which are paid for. And another thing is they did not put any kind of duplicate protection. So you can buy 100 loot boxes, and 50 of them you can get duplicate items. And again, it's the worst way to implement it, but it's Nintendo, so it doesn't surprise me.
And it's weird because like Nintendo seems to be jumping on all of the wrong trends. I mean, there's so much that is missing from the Nintendo Switch as a home console, in my opinion. But yet they, as far as their mobile games, they want to jump into, loot boxes. And it's like, this is probably the worst time to implement loot boxes in a game that didn't originally have them.
Right.
A lot of people are taking loot boxes out of their games. I'm looking at you, Shadow of War.
Yeah. Again, Nintendo. This is more evidence that Nintendo doesn't necessarily care about its player base as they care about the money they can squeeze out of their player base.
Yeah.
They don't care about your feelings. They care about your pocket.
Yes. And how much money you try and give them.
Right. So, and this is just another example of them saying, hey, this is what we're going to do to milk one of our beloved IPs. We're going to just do this because we know people love the game and will pay us money, and they won't say anything to us about it. Eventually, that's going to wear off, and they're going to be, their feet will be held to the fire. But as it stands now, and if Animal Crossing was more popular and it wasn't a mobile game, this would be a bigger story. Yeah. But because it's a mobile game and Animal Crossing is really not being played by people, anybody other than their diehard fans, it's kind of running under the radar.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and that's why we introduced this segment so that we can showcase these kinds of situations that would normally go, over somebody's head, because who the fuck cares about Animal Crossing?
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I know he cares, but O's a diehard Animal Crossing fan, and I'm pretty sure he's not happy about this. If he's even playing this version.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's just another instance of Nintendo not really knowing exactly what their consumer base wants. As far
I disagree with that. They know what their consumer base wants.
Well, they're not implementing though. Yeah, they don't care. Okay, so let me rephrase. They're not caring about what their consumer base wants. They're not making money. Let's implement loot boxes during, the height of a loot box fiasco going on around the world. And speaking of going around the world, let's take a trip over to the Netherlands.
Yeah, let's take a trip to the Netherlands, because those dudes is like, yo.
Yes, because those guys are not playing. They declared some forms of loot boxes as gambling, and so they're finding these guys with the quickness.
Yeah. So basically, the Dutch, the people over in the Netherlands, they had their Game Authority review loot boxes in 10 of the most popular games, and concluded that 4 of them were illegal, ran afoul of their laws. They have a law called the Betting and Gambling Act, and what they determined is that these 4 games were, the rewards were determined by chance, and the rewards can be traded outside of the games, give them a real life market value.
Yep.
And that runs afoul of their law as the law is written.
Right.
And for these games to continue to be sold and played in the Netherlands, they have to get a gambling license.
Damn.
And the 4 games, now the Gaming Authority didn't release the
games in question.
The games in question, but a local or a Dutch news outlet, NOS, found what the games are, and there's some hitters.
There's some hitters.
FIFA 18, EA, Rocket League, PUBG, and Dota 2 were all found. Those are the 4 games that reportedly are in violation of the gambling law, and it's because you can take their items, the digital items, and sell them or trade them in the real world market, which gives them value.
Yeah.
And they said that all of the loot boxes they studied could be considered addictive, and they're demanding publishers or developers modify loot boxes to take that into consideration.
So the Netherlands are definitely not playing around. I mean, I can see this in a couple of games, especially like FIFA and PUBG, because PUBG's loot box system is crazy. Right. You get the loot box, and then you have to actually purchase with real money a key in order to open the loot box. So That's crazy to me.
And I know for sure PUBG stuff goes outside because they had, I know during the height during the early days and the height of PUBG popularity, the red bandana, people were selling that outside of the game for thousands of dollars because apparently it was super rare.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's close to like what people were doing with the Counter-Strike skins, right?
Yep.
And then with FIFA 18, I know FIFA 18 is also problematic because people in Europe commit credit card fraud and steal Xbox Live accounts so they can get the FIFA it's the FIFA Ultimate Team, the FIFA Ultimate Team cards, and they trade and sell those. So that's where that's coming from. I can't speak to Dota or Rocket League too much, but I know the other two games, so I see where they're going. But also, I would say that would include any game, because if you think about it this way, if I have an Overwatch account and use loot boxes, unlocked all the skins at a high level, even though it's against the Blizzard's terms of service, I can take my Overwatch account and sell it to somebody. And that gives it a real world market value with a bunch of items that are gained out of loot boxes. So
Crazy.
While the Netherlands, the Dutch has a specific guideline in their law, a place that has a more broader law can apply that to a broader list of games.
Yeah, so they're going to be coming down. I mean, if they're coming down on games like Dota, which hasn't really been the highlight of what we've been talking about as far as loot boxes. If they're coming down on that game, I'm sure that there's like plenty of other games that will receive similar treatment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I like this.
I like it. I love it.
I like it a lot, and it's going to do more. It's going to scare people. It's going to scare the developers much more, and it's going to scare the publishers more.
Yep.
So one of two things are going to happen. They're going to either rethink how they're doing or monetizing these games, or they're going to lobby. Yeah. So I hope they don't. I know they're going to lobby, and we just got to hope that we got people out here that can go up against that particular lobby.
Yeah. So what I do want to say before we get off of this story is we have to give it up for EA. Give it up for EA, man, because they will forever be known as the guys that just fucked it up. They messed up so royally.
Yes.
They fucked up. So let's give these guys a round of applause. A round of applause for EA and fucking up everybody's money. We appreciate you, EA. Please fuck up more in the future so that we can just have a better overall gaming experience going forward, because this is wonderful what's happening in the Netherlands, and hopefully other countries follow suit. So that was this week in loot boxes. If you have any loot box related stories, because we try not to add those into the top 5 or into the quick hits, we want to section those off individually. So if you have any that you would like our opinions on, or anything that comes up that we're not aware of, let us know via our social media. Hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on Twitter, and let's keep the conversation going, because the sooner we forget about what's going on, the sooner they are to re-implement these kinds of monetization schemes. Yep,
exactly.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on. And this is our Q&A section. We like to ask our live audience to ask us questions, because we want to include you guys more in the live show. We have our live feed. We're live on 4 platforms: Facebook, Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube. So if you're watching this live, we really appreciate you, and we want to include you into the live show. We have a question from our good old friend Maury Jin. So we're gonna go ahead and get that going in our Ask AWGNS segment here. So let's go ahead and get into that. What is the question that Maury Jin has?
I'm gonna let you read it.
You're gonna let me read it? Okay, so give me 1 second. Let me get our things nice and looking pretty. Ask AWGNS. Oops, not MNS. Bam! Okay, so our question comes from Maury Jin, and he asks, Boogie, why do you drink so much Haterade, man? Always hating on everything.
Okay. I'm going to answer that question.
Okay, good.
I actually don't drink Haterade.
Okay.
The Haterade just courses through my veins.
Oh, it's a part of you.
Yeah, it's just a part of me. You know, what did what's his name? Bane say?
Uh-huh.
Like, you just adapted to hate. I was born in it.
Ooh,
So
damn.
That's it right there. I don't have to drink anything. I'm just an angry black man. Hate on everything. That's just who I am.
Yeah, no. Most of the times he's hating on Nintendo, and I've actually shared in the Haterade for Nintendo recently.
I go down a whole list. I hate on Nintendo.
Well, no, I'm saying just like as far as I'm
Fortnite,
concerned. Yeah, Fortnite.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Exclusives. EA.
Oh yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Some of those are justified. But when I was live streaming Fortnite earlier, everybody was disappointed in me. I got a lot of bad looks.
Did you really?
Oh my god, my girlfriend, she lost so much respect for me. She's like, "What are you doing? You playing Fortnite?" I was like, "Yeah, it's fun." She was like, "I don't respect you right now." So I'm gonna have to deal with that. Because I've talked so much shit about it, and then I actually have fun.
You had a good time playing it.
Yeah.
I tried playing it, and I don't know.
Yeah, and you know what? This is the same thing that happened to me. I tried playing it at first, and I didn't have a good time. I mean, you know what? It did help to have two experienced people on my team.
Right.
Kind of like show me the ropes, show me where I should go, what I should do, and take care of all of the building aspects because I can't build yet. I haven't practiced it enough. But yes, excellent question. As always, Maury Jin. Maury Jin is actually a Twitch subscriber. So I want to give a huge shout out to Maury Jin for subscribing to the Twitch channel, as well as Mount Lover, two of our subscribers live in the chat. We want to give you guys a round of applause. Round of applause to our Twitch subscribers. I really appreciate you guys for helping us keep this going. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our long form discussion. And as promised, we're going to continue the conversation about video games in schools back then versus now. Because I can remember, and this is from personal experience, video games in schools has been frowned upon forever. I remember when I was in elementary school, like 4th or 5th grade, you couldn't bring Pokemon cards in school. Yeah, you couldn't even bring Pokemon cards in school. They were being confiscated. And we just talked about how Fortnite is being, teachers are asking kids not to play Fortnite during class, but at the same time, they want to implement esports to like their intramural experience. Like it's kind of weird what's happening.
Well, it's the same thing, right? So if you're in class, you're supposed to be learning. They have football in class. If me and one of my football teammates took a football out and started chucking around class, teacher tell us to stop. So that's the same thing. I don't see where that's going to be any different. I mean, but I wonder, like, where they're going to be putting esports in school, are there going to be classes? Are they going to go further into video gaming? So yes, there's esports. We're going to let our kids compete in Fortnite, but are you going to put a development class, a game development class,
or any kind of like electives? Like, because like if you play football, right, you go to weight training. That's an elective course. You have to go to weight training. Like, is there going to be like a elective course where you can learn how to program, right, or if you there's going to be like paid for and like scheduled in school time to better your video game.
Right. Is there going to be a video game theory class? Is there going to be a Fortnite class that's going to teach you how to play Fortnite? Because now it's something you can compete in, and it's something you can actually make money doing, right? You can make money playing Fortnite. You can make money playing FIFA. And so are there going to be classes for those? It'd be interesting to see how it goes. Like I started going in when we first heard the story. I do have a problem with esports in school as far as it being an issue with funding. Yeah, because when
taken away from other programs.
Right. So when you're looking at like I said, the strikes recently, I think it was Kentucky, West Virginia, and Tennessee, I think was the third state. Mm-hmm. And you saw pictures of what condition these schools were in. Non-working bathrooms, no lights, no air conditioner, no heat. I think it was Mississippi. No heat.
Crazy.
books that look
10
like
years old.
Yeah, books that look like they just took out of the trash can. We look at stuff like that, and then you're like, okay, we're gonna do esports. It's going to be a thing where only the richest counties are going to be able to compete, and that's going to basically wall it off from a lot of people. Because I can't see a school in West Virginia buying a bunch of PCs and screens,
and PlayStations, and all types of crap.
So they can set up an esports when they have problems with just getting books, pencils, pens, and paper.
Yeah.
That's just not going to work. But when you look at like a more like I said, I live in Montgomery County, Maryland. It's one of the richest counties in Maryland. I can see the schools down in Bethesda and in North Potomac. They'll have a trailer in a room full of this stuff. They use iPads now that are assigned. But when you go out to some of the poorer counties, those kids aren't going to have a chance. And I think one of the things that needs to be taken a look at, and it's not just for esports, it's just in general, is the equality of the school system.
Yeah. Yeah, now I'm going to continue the conversation, but I do want to thank, I followed So Dabbed, just followed us on Twitch. Appreciate you, homie. I will not dab for you, though. Sorry. But, oh, Boogie with the dab! Oh my God! So thank you for the follow. Appreciate you.
Hey, you follow us, I'll give you a dab.
Okay. But yeah, no, I agree with you on most cases. I mean, when I was in high school, like I believe it was my class. I graduated high school in 2007. My class, when I got to 9th grade, so like my first actual year in high school, was the first year that we actually got laptops. You know, and there's some schools around the country that still don't even have access to laptops. They don't have Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So it's going to be really hard to justify the implementation of video games, which a lot of people think are, you know, a distraction from what's actually being learned or what's supposed to be learned in school. It's going to be hard to justify that in a lot of cases.
Right.
So this is definitely going to be a case by case basis when it comes to the implementation of it. But like you said, it seems like only the most wealthy of districts will be able to take advantage of it in a way that isn't going to take away from other programs.
Other programs and other stuff they go, because it's the same thing, right? So if you go to some high schools have swim teams. Yeah. Right. Inner city schools don't have swim teams, but you get out to the suburbs, some of the richer there's swim teams. There's lacrosse is another expensive sport that only wind up in some of the more of the well-to-do school districts. So when you look at that, it's already happening. I just don't see, because it's going to be expensive, because you need equipment that's going to need to be updated and taken care of, because it's going to wear out. You're going to need screens, you need internet access, you need the software, you need all kinds of stuff to get this off the ground. You need the space. So you need a ton of stuff to get this off of the ground. And I do applaud that,
the commission.
The commission for the forward thinking and looking forward and preparing students for what's going to be probably a bigger deal than it is now.
Dude, like esports is a valuable career path these days.
When you look at the Overwatch League, the NBA 2K League, we just talked about that. There's the FIFA League, there's Forza, there's Dota, League of Legends, Halo. I mean, all of these games have leagues. There's literally hundreds of them. Yeah. And Rocket League is another huge one. And so I like the forward thinking. I just worry about how the less fortunate districts are going to handle that. And it's not even necessarily less fortunate, because if you look at, you go to a small town, a small school. I mean, it's not even. I said not even. I should say not just. Yeah. It's not just the small. Because if say you go to a small town, like, okay, I live in Maryland. It's called Damascus. Damascus, Maryland. It's a small town. We have two elementary schools, one high school, one middle school. I think it's what it's here. And that small amount of people, when you get to the high school, it's not a ton of people. I think the high school is like 800, 900 people. It's not a ton. But when you go to an urban high school where there's 4,000 kids, 5,000 kids, getting enough equipment is just not financially feasible.
No.
So that's another group that's going to be left off, right?
Yeah. So it's one part, forward thinking, but definitely some kinks are going to have to be worked out in order to make this like a real thing across the board for the majority or a lot of inner city schools.
Right.
So
Right.
I think it's both a good thing but potentially a bad thing if it takes away from essential programs.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and our teachers aren't getting paid enough as it is. Then you're gonna have teachers that are gonna stay after and kind of like chaperone these kind of things, or are they gonna bring in experts, or are game developers going to start going on like high school tours? There's a lot to think about.
Right.
When it comes to this,
to get these things off the ground,
to get it off the ground and to get it to a point where it's maintainable and to a point where it's valuable.
Right.
Because there's no point in bringing in esports if it's not going to be organized. You just got a whole bunch of kids just playing video games after school. I don't think that's going to be. It's not going to justify all the funds that it's going to require in order to get
to
make it happen.
Yeah, to make it, like you said, functional.
Yeah.
And useful.
Yeah. Yeah, because I could see plenty of kids entering into these programs and going pro, dude. I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way it sits is just like any other, just like football, basketball, baseball.
Exactly.
It's just the same way. You do well, you get somebody to take a look at you, and you're a pro. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that, because that's somewhere we're going, especially with people and they're concerned, especially with football, they're concerned about injuries and long-term damage to your health.
Yeah.
When you look at those concerns parents have, a parent now would be more likely to say, okay, I don't mind Johnny playing Rocket League.
Huh?
I'd much rather him play Rocket League than him playing football and scrambling his brains.
Yeah.
So I like I said, the option being there is great. It's just how well they can implement it and how broadly they can implement it and how fairly they can implement it.
Yeah. So I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say on this topic. This is it has to be one of the most engaging long form discussions we've had in a long time. So we definitely want your feedback. So if you're looking at Boogie, right underneath him is our social media information. You can hit us up on Twitter, on Facebook, and let us know what you think about esports in high school. Of course, just like with any sport, the kids are going to have to maintain good grades,
right.
Otherwise they're out. That's a given, but there's a lot to be said on this topic, so I definitely want to keep the conversation going. So hit us up, let us know what you think. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, we definitely want to hear from you. So leave a comment down in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube. Tweet at us. Let us know what you think. But is there anything else that you want to add to this long form discussion?
No.
Okay.
I've said my piece.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We're going to get into our final thoughts. And this is the part of the show where we retrace our steps and just give our final 2 cents on some of the stories that we covered today. In case you are just joining us, we talked about a lot. There was a lot that went down today. The first thing that we talked about was Billy Mitchell releasing a statement. He mentioned that there is proof that will clear his name. But we're gonna have to wait in order to see that. He didn't say exactly what it was or when it will be released. But I'm actually interested to see where this goes, because this has been a story that has been years in the making.
Mm-hmm. 30 years.
30 years in the making, and I finally thought that there was an end to it. He got called out, and I thought that was an end to it. But apparently the saga continues. So we'll see what happens with that. In our quick hit sections, we talked about a new Castlevania being announced. Super excited that something's being done with the IP and it's not another pachinko machine, but at the same time, Castlevania deserves to be on either home or at least handheld video game consoles, not just mobile. And Konami has enough problems these days. It's going to be hard to get people to support them. So that's an issue in itself. We also talked about the new arrival of Falk coming to Street Fighter V. I'm not interested at all. She seems like a very bland character. It looks like some of her animations were ripped right from Rolento from Street Fighter 4. So I'm not feeling it, you know, because she has the staff or whatever. I'm not feeling the character from a visual standpoint, and as well as her moveset. Just doesn't appeal to me at all. Amazon Echo is going to be able to help you get better at Call of Duty. You know, with the increasing advancements in technology, you know, we talked about this in the previous show. Looks like we're going to be able to use some of that to actually help people get good at games. And so I'm all about it. So this seems like a really cool idea. In our top 5 news stories, we talked about games for gold. Super awesome lineup of video games. If you've never played any of them, all a must download. From Super Mega Baseball 2, Vanquish, Phantom Pain, and what was the other one? Streets of Rage Trilogy. So that's 3 games right there. So yeah, and talking about Sega classics, there's going to be some coming to the Switch. This is par for the course. I mean, they were all. I feel like most, if not all, of these games are on previous eShops from previous generations of Nintendo console. This seems to be no different. But like you said earlier, the Nintendo news has been drying up. So I guess, you know, they needed a press release. So Sega Classics coming to the Switch. Esports in your high school. I feel like we've talked enough about that, but it's super interesting to see how esports is growing and where its influences are being directed. So it's really interesting to see that. Speaking of esports, the 2K league is going to be exclusively streamed on Twitch. You know, this seems like the natural progression, in my opinion. I don't know where else you would want to stream this. You know, unless it's on like ESPN or something. But I mean, this is good news overall for everybody involved. Fortnite Mobile hitting the iron while it's hot, man. Making over 25 million in under a month, or a little over a month. It's astounding. And this week in loot boxes, we talked about Animal Crossing adding loot boxes to a previously existing game that didn't already have it. Bad idea, and it just proves that Nintendo is the consumer hostility continues over at Nintendo. But if you're over in the Netherlands, you better watch out, because they are cracking down on a lot of forms of loot boxes, because they have considered them either gambling or that they are addictive in nature, and they're going to be taking action against both types. So freaking publishers and developers, beware. The Netherlands is not messing around.
Yeah, they're coming for you.
Yeah. So that's all I have to say about it. What are some of your final thoughts, Boogie?
The Billy Mitchell thing, the only thing I got to say about that is why his hair looks like it's Darth Vader's helmet. Anything he has to say, it doesn't matter, because even if he has proof, there's always going to be doubt, and when there's doubt on a record, it can't be a record. Yeah. The new Castlevania game, and Mount Lover agrees with me. Konami, just sell IPs. Just sell them. Let somebody. You're not into making video games anymore. The last game you made was a turd, and now you're pushing another one of your great IPs to mobile. Just move on. The Falk coming on to Street Fighter V, just like you, I have zero interest. It's not going to make me more excited about Street Fighter V. The only thing that make me interested in playing Street Fighter V is a new controller for my PlayStation.
Get that fight pad, man.
The Amazon Echo skill, I think that's good. Like you said, more technology being more useful is never a bad thing. And I can see more games coming out with these type of skills. And the Amazon Echo, I think last time I heard, it has something like, I want to say a stupid number, like 70% of the smart speaker market. Ooh. So tons of people have them, because they were giving them away. They were giving them away for like $25 around Christmas. Yeah. The dots. So yeah, that's cool. And people put them in everything from cars to other speakers to there's light switches that have Amazon Echo built into it. So
crazy.
It's crazy. Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't have computers in charge of like all of my. I can't have computers in charge of everything, man. That's just scary. That's a little too scary for me, man. I can't.
we got the May games with gold. Like you said, I think every one of the games in this list is a must-have. If you like baseball, but you're more, if you're a sports fan, but you're more of an arcadey sports fan, this is definitely the game for you. Super Mega Baseball, the original, was very good. Again, this is a brand new game being released on May 1st, and when it's being released, it's released on PlayStation and Xbox, and I want to say it's PC as well. But you're going to be able to get it for free on the Xbox One. The last game they did that with was Earthlock, and that actually was a really good game. So then also the Sega Classics to Switch. Nintendo is with the Switch is just a smokescreen. They're releasing 1 or 2 new games, and everything else they're releasing on the Switch are either remakes or reissues. Yeah, and it's I'm not a fool.
The fans love it. No, hell no.
The fans love it, but they're not doing anything. It's not doing anything. Although I do want to see My Hero.
Yeah. Mystic Defender. No. Yeah.
Esports coming to high schools. I think, like you said, we said enough about that. I just, if it's going to come to high school, it needs to be implemented in a way where there isn't a huge swath of people being excluded. Right. The Twitch live streaming NBA 2K games, I'm definitely going to watch to see how it is. Because what's cool is if you're unfamiliar, with NBA 2K League, these players are using their own avatars. So it'll be like the My Player that they're using. They're not controlling LeBron James in NBA 2K. Right. They're controlling their avatar in NBA 2K. So that's cool. So I definitely gonna watch a couple of games just to see how it is. Fortnite, again, it's the it thing right now. Everybody's Fortnite. From every streamer that plays Fortnite has people watching them.
Me included, dude. We had an audience of like 12 people when I was playing. I was like, oh shit.
Everybody wants to watch a Fortnite. And Epic Games is doing it. At the end of the day, Epic is a good developer. They know how to get people engaged in their games, and that's what they're doing here. Nintendo, like you said, consumer hostility continues, and the Dutch, and I think I saw this. Yeah, EU. Mm-hmm. Oh no, he's asking us the whole EU. But the Europeans are really much stricter than the Americans are on stuff like this, the exploitation of consumers. Yeah, they're much more strict. So it doesn't surprise me that a European country has come up with this decision. And the thing is, Europe as a whole is a large market, and it starts with the Netherlands. That's going to roll downhill, and it's only time will tell if it's going to come to North America. And when I say North America, Canada, U.S., Mexico, and going out east to Japan and South Korea. Because the thing I will say about video games, at least here in the United States, they're still seen as something for children. And when they think their children are being exploited, they can easily get a push to do wholesale bans.
Can't exploit the children.
Right. So yeah, that's how that goes. So I'm done, and yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay, so yeah, like I said before, if you want to get in touch with us, you want to talk to us, you want to submit us stories, you want to argue with us, you want to go back and forth, get this discussion, continue the discussion on any of the stories that we covered today. The best way to do that is by hitting us up on our social media. We are on Twitter. Our handle is at AWGNS. We're also on Facebook, a weekly gaming news show. You can just use our call letters, AWGNS. All of the pertinent information is right underneath Boogie. Boogie, if you can point down to it. Bam! Down there somewhere. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, so you can reach us at all of our social media and streaming websites. We also release the episodes on all of your favorite podcasting apps. So, Boogie, in case they don't know, let us know where they can listen to us.
Okay, so we are on iTunes, we're on Google Play, we're on TuneIn Radio. Subscribe, rate us, leave a comment. We'll take a look at it. And also, we are in the general podcasting directory. So whatever podcasting app you use on your mobile device, Android, iOS, and I think it's a half a person now still might have a Windows phone. whatever podcasting device you use in podcasting app, just search us a weekly gaming news show or buy a call letters AWGNS. Subscribe to download episodes automatically each week.
Yep.
And then finally, the smart speakers, we are there. If you have a smart speaker, you just utter the wake up word and say, listen to the latest weekly gaming news show, and the episode will play for you.
Yes, and speaking of episodes, we go live every single Sunday, for the most part, at 7 Eastern Standard Time, with the episodes going up on YouTube the very next day at 12 noon. If you don't have an hour and a half to sit down and listen to the podcast, you just want to get a quick refresher of everything that's going on in the gaming landscape, check out the Weekly Gaming News 10 and 10. Those go up every Saturday.
Yes, Saturdays at noon.
Every Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time as well. And just hit us up on Facebook. If for any of the stories that we cover today, our sources will be listed on our Facebook page. So you can hit us up there as well. And make sure you're following us too. We have a lot of stuff coming down the line. We're close to episode 100, and Boogie has some surprises that I cannot wait to see.
Yes.
Like even I'm in the dark when it comes to episode 100.
We got some new stuff coming, a couple of changes, and maybe a little more. We'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, that's going to be going down. And we can't wait to well, I can't wait to be for Boogie to show off what he has in store for us. So make sure that you are keeping your ear to the streets and keeping a close eye on us. But yeah. Episode 100 guest host is going to be Drake. We're also going to have Travis Scott.
The hell with him.
Oh god!
It's gonna be a live boxing match between me and Drake.
Oh shit! Oh man, that's funny. But we want to thank you all for watching us. I mean, it's been awesome, dude. I love talking about video games. And like I always say, if we weren't doing the podcast, we would still be having these conversations. But it's good that we can have these conversations with you guys. So make sure that you hit us up. We love going back and forth, and we have a lot planned for the future. So I think we can go ahead and end it on that point. This has been episode 97, and we are your hosts with the mosts. My name is Trenell.
I'm Todd.
And we will catch you guys next week.
Peace.